I actually have a really cool, open-minded and loving family, and even when I first came out and started dating, I remember there was a few different points and times when some of my family members, whom I am not calling out or putting anybody on blast, but I remember a few times they would come to me and say like, so who's the girl? You know, and it's not so uncommon for people to want to do that, even within our own community. How many times have you hooked up with a guy, the next day you're talking to your friends about it? What's one of the first questions they have for you? Like, who's the top? Who's the bottom? It's something that happens regularly enough, and it's just really interesting and curious for us to consider, why are we wanting to do that? Put people in boxes and try and figure out who's who and what's what. Where does that come from? And then also, how can that actually be really limiting for us too? Gender norms are these socially constructed ideas about what it means to be a man and a woman. And if you're a man, the idea is you're supposed to be masculine and you're supposed to be more aggressive and dominant and sexually assertive. And you're going to be viewed as more powerful and therefore more valuable. If you're a woman, female, then the idea is that you're supposed to be feminine, you're supposed to be more passive and submissive, sexually receptive, viewed as more vulnerable, weaker, and therefore less valuable. It's the basic premise of sexism. It's total bullshit. It's totally misogynistic, but it's also a social reality. And what we do as gay men is we actually can take that same framework and we apply it to the relationships that we have. And so anytime that we are sussing out who actually has these kind of traditionally feminine traits or behaviors, well then that's how we know how to rank others. That's how we know how to rank other gay men. And so we can put down any guys who have those traits. So here's where bottom shaming comes in. If we strip it down and actually just consider what the basic function of it is, well, we all grew up in a world that has challenged our masculinity and our sense of manhood, so we just want to make sure that we're okay. And when we don't know how to challenge those irrational beliefs, well then we put other people down. The problem with it is it actually keeps us disconnected from other people, from other gay men. It keeps us disconnected from experiencing all kinds of things sexually that we otherwise might enjoy. And it also just locks that shame in place for us. You know, if you think about it, it actually takes a lot of strength and courage for us to be bottoming anyway, because it takes a lot of preparation that goes into it. We have to really open ourselves up to somebody else emotionally and otherwise, and it's something that just has its own inherent value because it means vulnerability and strength and courage in order to do that. So it does have that value when we think about it rationally. And you know, honestly, I can argue that if you're probably not having your prostate stimulated at least once in your life, you're missing out on some good sex. So that's something to consider. But also, you know, we're allowed to have our preferences, we're allowed to know what we like and what we don't like, that's totally okay. But when we're aware of some of this stuff, then we can see how we otherwise might have been limited by shame and not necessarily just by what actually feels good or that we can connect to. And so at the end of the day, if we still find ourselves leaning towards one end of the spectrum of top or bottom or anywhere in between, that's still totally okay. But at least we know we've challenged our shame in doing that. And we don't have to put other people down in order for us to feel okay. This is the work we get to do for ourselves. So individually, we get to grow, we get to heal, we maybe get to have a little bit better of sex too. And then also collectively as gay men, we get to grow, we get to heal, and we can do all of that work together too. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you liked it. Please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can stay up to date with anything else that I might blather on about. And also comment below. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about, and I will try to do my best to get at some of those things next time.